Boom, we're live. We're live. 10K followers Q&A. I'm going to switch it up today. We reached 10K followers yesterday. It's a celebration. And today I want to talk more about social media, personal branding, and how it relates to me reaching 10K followers in the month of February. I started with about 3,000 followers that I've had for years. You guys may know me for my record production, may know me for my fitness content, and I usually post that, but most recently I started sharing content about Amazon, and kaboom, it started blowing up. And in this month we reached 10K followers. So in this stream I want to talk about personal branding. I want to talk about growing your social media, and I want to talk about how it relates to everything. Let's let a couple people pour in the chat. I do expect this to be a little bit of a smaller chat than the Amazon AMAs, and that's understandable, but it's going to relate to what I got on my mind. And we'll start with the personal branding. I think it's important to share your journey. I think it's important to be real and not worry so much about production value of your videos and how they look. What's more important is to tell the story that you're doing. And that's probably one of the main reasons I was able to propel myself to 10K plus followers within the last month. Because all of a sudden it clicked to me. I was like, this is not the only thing I do. Beats is not the only thing I do. Fitness is not the only thing I do. I've been selling on Amazon for about over a year. And I said, let me just share this journey. Let me just go ahead and clip up a reel and just show it to you guys. And that was the unlock. That's the unlock right there. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm not sure if you can see me because it says I got a couple people watching, but I don't see them coming in, which is weird. Anyhow, for whatever you're trying to do, most people that are online, I think it's important to share your journey. Give me 1 second. It's a little noisy out here. It's a little noisy. You guys probably can hear me better out here. And it's a little sunny. We're out here in Miami, Florida, not Miami Beach. Most people think it's Miami Beach when I tell them I'm Miami. And that's just a small part of Miami. Most people that live in Miami do not live in the beach. The beach is for tourists. If you live in New York, think of the beach like 42nd Street. Anyhow, we're out here. We hit 10K followers. And, I want to talk about branding and social media and how it relates to what I've been doing. And, I've been online for 10 plus years, sharing mostly the beats and the music and promoting that. Check out my new track and all that stuff. But for those that are in the arts, for those that are doing things, I think it's important just to go ahead and start sharing more of your life, sharing more about the things that you do. And especially if you're in the arts, like, what do you do to make money? Most people that are in the arts, they don't share that. Like, what is it that you're doing to make money? And, I think it's important, and people would want to know that about you. So I decided to share that, and, it blew up. It blew up. Most people are interested in learning about that. But here's another lesson I'm learning live on stream. You have to give people things that are valuable to them, not just to you. So part of the reason the content probably did well is because people have a personal interest in finding out how to make money. Now, if I tell them I just got 10,000 subscribers, ask me anything, we'll have a couple people on the stream. But if I tell them, hey, I'm selling on Amazon and I'm making money on the title, then we'll have 20 people on the stream. I do streams maybe every single day, sometimes twice a day. And this is the first time that I'm like, hey, let's talk about something else. And the first thing that came to mind was these 10K followers. But why is this stream a couple people compared to 20 people? Because people know the name Amazon. People know the name selling. And, they're interested in that more than they're interested in just getting followers, which is kind of weird to me. Anyhow, some good coffee. Whatever you're doing online, it's important for you to keep it real. I see people that have less followers than me and they have way better content production value than I do. They're edited well, their landing pages are on point, their email system's on point, and they have all the infrastructure that's probably better than mine, way better. They got better production value and better looking videos. But why is it that I get more engagement than them? And I think it's because I'm trying to break through the wall. Instead of trying to do something that's scripted, I think it's important to try to connect directly to the people and not worry so much about the facade, but rather the actual content and make it approachable. So those are the points I just want to hit. It's been a celebration. Like I said, 10K followers. I started the month of February with about 3,000 followers. And then one thing I learned is that, the short reels with action, with the hand action, I usually think it was like, more talking content, like more talking head content. And, people want to see your face, obviously, But more than talking head content, they want to see an action. They want to see movement. So, me bagging and tagging, me putting items in the boxes and showing that quickly, I think that really engages the audience. And you could see, another example is like on YouTube, unboxing item videos. Those things get a lot of views. So sometimes people don't want to hear me talk about my 10K followers, or they don't want to hear you just talk or post pictures of your family or your dog. Show them in short clips what it is exactly that you're doing. Specifically, what are you doing to making money, or, like what are you creating with your hands? Everybody's different. They have a different story. And make that unique to your personal brand, because everybody's going to be different. Like your personal brand can't be like anybody else's. That's what makes it personal. So if you think you're going to mimic and just copy somebody else's style, you're only going to be able to go so far with that. But what's going to separate you in your brand is like, what is it that makes you unique? In my case, I have my own story of making beats, my own story of doing fitness, and my own story of how I started selling on Amazon to supplement my income while I was doing with my true passion, which is music production. I run a record label, 95 Labs. Most people know me as Tev95. And, I have an extensive catalog on Spotify. I've been doing this for 10 plus, maybe even close to 20 years. But as soon as I start showing, here's how I'm making money, here's the actions, boom, boom, with the cuts, people start following. So the lesson learned here is don't be scared to deviate from what you do normally, especially if you're doing it for a long time and you've hit a threshold, and do something or tell something else that you haven't been doing. It's like some of you guys may be doing something, but you're not sharing that. You're not sharing that online. So if you started learning something new, share that. If you started doing a new hobby or a new, you signed up for a new class or you did something new and finished, share that. And be as honest as you possibly can. Like, I think people like to root for the underdog online. People like to root for the underdog online. They necessarily don't really care about the person that's already successful. I mean, once the person is ultra successful, people are probably more interested in watching them fail than they are watching them succeed, because they already saw them succeed. So don't be afraid to get on the camera and tell the story that you're doing, even if you don't have a lot of experience. Like, I didn't have experience making that type of content. And I was like, well, let me just show it anyway. And the amount of people that just started engaging with it is really surprising. I'll tell you that much. It's super surprising. So it's probably because, it's just honest. Like I wasn't just trying to like hit you with a pitch. Some people try to like hit you with a specific pitch when they're making content. And, if you do the content with that in mind, it may or may not work. It may or may not work. So I think the purpose of sharing the content is actually to tell the story and to share and to be social. Make sure that you respond to the messages. Make sure you respond to the comments. There's no reason to be acting bouge. Try to hit back as many people as possible. We've been able to grow our Discord server to 300 plus members this month. I'm super proud and appreciative about that. But having 10K followers, having these 300 members on the Discord it's not a flex. I mean, there's people that have millions of followers, The reason I'm doing the live stream is to let you guys know, if you may or may not be afraid, if you're afraid or if you're second guessing yourself, I think you need to just put that to the side and just start posting, start talking to the camera, and start showing predominantly in short form content. I think that's been the most engaging for me, and the ones that I edit fast, and do fast cuts with them, and they don't have to necessarily be showing so much of my face. Like I'll start it with just me talking real quick, and then it goes straight into the action, and then the rest could be narrated. And I found that very effective. Now, as far as the live streams that I do a lot more, they're easy because they're not scripted. I don't have to edit. I can do them on the fly like I am right now. And I think it's a great time for you to engage with your followers, which is weird because I see people coming in and out of the live stream, but it's not notifying me here that you guys are here. And someone try to drop a comment on me because I don't know if this part is frozen or not. I definitely see that we have viewers, but compared to the other streams, I'm not seeing them coming in as they, like X joined, that joined. So that's weird. Maybe we'll restart. Or maybe we'll restart and do an Amazon AMA because that's what gets engagement. That's another thing too. You got to see what works. See what works and double down on what works. Don't be afraid to experiment. Obviously, don't be afraid to experiment. But if something's working, do more of that. I noticed that the reels worked, so I started doing more of those types of reels. Now, they take a little bit more time because you have to be conscious of what you're going to be filming, the actions that you're filming. And while I'm bagging and tagging, 95% of the time, I don't have someone recording me. So, I'm actually using both my hands. So those reels that I did, I had in mind, I was like, oh, let me just take a moment here while I'm bagging and tagging to record this action. And later on, edit it into the short reel. So, they were, in that sense, they were pre-planned, not, completely scripted or anything. I mean, I freestyle the voiceover, but, I had in mind, like, the actions that I want to show. So, that's what was effective. So anyhow, do some shorts, do some longer ones, and then what I'm seeing also causes engagement, and I haven't tried this, is doing a series of a little longer form content. Maybe you could do 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and doing a series and say, I don't have any specific ideas, but maybe it could be like getting started on Amazon part 1, 2, 3, 4, and have a X part series. And maybe that works. I've seen that work on TikTok as well. And that's another thing, guys. There's a bag on TikTok to be made. I really do think that TikTok can be a competitor to Amazon in the long run. I mean, not in the next year or so, but like in the longer run, they do have a system that they're building that is incentivizing content creators to sell directly on their live streams and directly in their videos. And I think it's better than all the other systems that has been created for that. Even better right here than IG. I stick to IG right now with the live streams because it's where I have the most followers. I'm trying to grow my TikTok. It's Tev95_, and it's also linked there in my link tree. But I got a couple hundred followers over there. And one thing I noticed, the TikTok content doesn't promote Amazon content like IG does. So there's obvious that people are interested in that type of content. But when you disseminate that on TikTok kind of like idles it. And I think it's because they are kind of biased against Amazon. I'm going to be honest with you. I really do think that they're biased against Amazon. And I think it's with reason because in the long run, they could probably compete with them to a certain extent. Like, Amazon's the gorilla, the giant, the Godzilla. But the one that has more room for potential growth right now is obviously TikTok. So, drop me a comment. Somebody drop me a comment in here because I don't know why. I saw someone hit me with the emoji earlier, but this live stream in particular is very odd on my end, on my dashboard here, because it's still telling me, we're telling followers that you started a live video, and that has never gone away, and I can't see any comments. So, someone just put ABC there in the comments to see if it jumps up, because I'm not seeing any. Usually we got a few. We've been on for about 10 minutes now, so that's odd. And, at one point we had about 10 people watching the live, so that's odd. Usually when we do the Amazon AMAs, we have about 17, 20 people in the live stream at once, and, the questions keep flowing. So I may restart this broadcast and do just Amazon AMA on the title. But, I think it's important for me to test out different types of content. And I know with my personal brand, I'm not only an Amazon seller. Like I said, first I started as a record producer, and I've worked in the fitness industry. I like entrepreneurship, and I like overall e-commerce. But I've been most successful recently with the Amazon content and the Amazon sales. So I think most of you people have found me through that. But, I don't want to be the Amazon guy. I have the Amazon Discord group, and, I make a lot of content about that now. But my personal brand is about me, Tev95, or, most people know me as, now you guys probably know me as Alex V on the Discord. Most people in the city here in Miami know me as Tev95 as a record producer. And, that's just who I am. And I think I want to keep it unique to who I am, which is, a hybrid of entrepreneur, an artist, and a fitness enthusiast. And ultimately a motivator. I like to motivate people. Our brand is the Goat Farm. You a goat, not just me. You a goat too. And it's about uplifting and empowering everyone to be the greatest they can be, the best version of themselves. That's why I post up every single day in my stories, and you see me doing burpees. I'm on day 250 plus. I haven't missed a day, and I don't plan on missing any. We're going to pull up on 365 days for sure. So that's my immediate goal, and see how long we can go from there. Shout out to Real Burpee King. I see him on day 3,000. So, you know what I mean? It's not a flex, guys. Like, it may seem like a lot, but, there's always someone out there that's pushing more weight than you and that's done a lot more than you. So while I'm excited about these 10K followers, there's always someone out there that has 100,000, 1 million. So, you can always raise the bar and get to the next level. And that's what I plan on doing. But my way and what's original to my brand, because I don't want to mimic anybody. I don't want to box myself into, I'm just the Amazon guy. And, that's all I do. I don't want you to come to my page and just see Amazon seller and that's only Amazon content. Look, it may work for the short run. It may be more concise and may be, better on target for the audience in the short run, but in the long run, that's not the brand that I'm developing. I'm more interested in developing a brand that's unique to myself. I think personal branding is way more important than you think. This is your resume for life. If not now, in the near future, is your resume. Someone the other day hit me up with a pitch to do copywriting, and instead of hitting me up with a message and telling me, look at my work, they hit me up with a video, like, yo, I see your content, and they hit me up with the video. And that's showing, that's where we're headed to. This is the new era of personal branding. This is how you're supposed to use social media. So in the future, when you look for a job, they don't give a shit about your resume. They're going to want to know what your socials is. What's your social proof? And, unless you have it right there, it's going to be harder to compete with the next man. Because, you could do a fancy resume or whatnot, but, what's going to be more engaging? Content that's verifiable, that you could see, that has a verifiable history over the years of someone doing XYZ, or just, a PDF document that says, here's where I worked at. So develop that personal brand and your personal skills. Don't use social media just for connecting with your friends from high school. You don't need that. You could do a group chat for that. This social media thing, a lot of people are using it the wrong way. And a lot of you guys are just silent lurking and watching, and silent lurking and watching. And guys, you either produce or you're consuming. So make sure, we all consume, that's obvious, but make sure that you're producing a lot more than you're consuming, or about the same as you consume. Because I'm not going to lie, I scroll around and I check out content and I consume as well, but try to mitigate that with some production. So make content too. And that way you can stand to benefit more. And you never know who you're going to network with. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to attract. The world's in the palm of your hands here. And the lesson I learned is just share your story unique to you. Don't worry about how it's edited and if it's fancy or what people are going to think. Just put it out there and just try to do it as honest as possible. And the more honest I'm being with myself and with these posts and just being able to put myself out there and talk to the people, the more success that I'm seeing and more engagement that I'm seeing. Like I said earlier, I see people that hit me up. They got websites, podcasts. They got all the landing pages correctly. And their page looks super fancy, but it's scripted. It's produced. It's almost too over polished. And I'm not against that, because as I grow, I'm going to polish up my content as well. But before you do all that, make sure you connect with the people directly and be personal, be personal. I think people want that realness, especially, this generation and the generation prior has grown up on so much media that they know what's contrived. They know what's scripted. They know what's produced. They know what's a pitch. And if they don't know that consciously, subconsciously they do. So the more real you can keep it and the more authentic and candid you could be, then the better chance you have of engagement. Well, it's weird. I haven't had one comment in this entire live stream. I think that, we got 6 people watching now. And I've asked you guys just to comment A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or just 1, 2, 3, just to see if my commenting is working, but it's not. So I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I'm going to go ahead and fire up another stream with Amazon content. I'm sure you guys got plenty of questions. And maybe when I go ahead and refresh and do another live stream, these comments will pop up. It's just odd to me that, we have 5 people on right now. I'm asking you, just someone put the letter A in the comments, and no one is, it's not popping up. So I think that somehow maybe my feed is frozen here. So I don't know. Maybe you guys just don't want to talk. So either way, it's love. Let me motivate you guys. Make sure you follow all the links and all that. Hit the like, the subscribe. But if you got a question, hit me up with the DM. I do my best to respond. I get flooded with DMs nowadays, and I also get frustrated because there's some low IQ people out there, and don't hit me up with the hey. I don't like that, and that's not a good way to start off a conversation with someone that you don't know. Get to the point. You have a specific question, get straight to the point. You have an ultimatum, you want someone to do something for you, go ahead and just straight up ask. But starting the conversation with hey, you got to consider the context. Every time I'm refreshing my feed, I'm getting another 100 followers, another 4, 5, 6 DMs. Some of them get lost in those messages in the back. And if I'm scrolling through and I see a hey, what incentive do I have to respond? Like, I don't know who you are, and then I go to your page and it's private. Don't make yourself public. Have a picture of your face and make yourself approachable and get straight to the point. Hey, what's up? XYZ, or go for your question. The Discord's open if you guys want to know more about Amazon, etc. Someone hit me up the other day, a younger gentleman, I think he was like 19, 20, asking me, what his advice, what my advice would be for him. And that actually, I love questions like that. If I can help the younger generation, he's like, I just broke up with my girl. And, my advice for the young cats is like, don't get so hung up on the women, and make sure that you develop good and solid habits. Start eating right and start exercising. That's the first thing you need to do before you even worry about money and all that. I need you guys to be mentally and physically sound. That way you could be capable of working longer hours and be able to handle that extra load of work. And you can feel good about yourself. You gotta develop these habits that make you feel good about yourself. Develop habits that make you respect yourself. And, the work will follow. All right, guys, I'm going to fire up another live stream and see maybe if it works. Peace.